Hi, everybody. So we're going to have some fun today. And by fun, I mean misery. I want to play a numbers game with you. And whether you enjoy the show, hate the show, love to hate the show, hate to love the show, it doesn't really matter. I don't care if you think I have the hockey knowledge of a doorknob. Here's the things we know after the Wings lost to San Jose last night. Rico, do you know what the numbers 10, 6, 3 mean sequentially?
I do, but
okay.
Yes.
Great. Those would be your shots on goal by period. 10 to 6 to 3. How about more numbers? 16. That's both the number of teams in the Eastern Conference and your placing in said Eastern Conference by points. More numbers. 30th. That's right. That's your place in the league. 30th out of 32 teams in point total at essentially the quarter pole in year 6 of the rebuild. So, all the Yzerplan crumbums, come on and defend your boy. Now we get to have some fun. See, I'm not going to tell you how I feel because it doesn't matter. I'm not up here like Don Cherry in a fancy little blazer. I don't have a poppy on. Oh, and I didn't grow up playing the game in a stupid beer league. So here's the deal. The hockey elite, you explain it. You tell me how to feel. I just want to be a member of the American public today, where I'm told what to think. Tell me what to think about the Yzerplan. And if this is just going to be a sea of people demanding that they fire Derek Lalonde, I will tell you, you are not looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, how about the guy shopping for the groceries? Can we at least acknowledge that may be a problem? I mean, in the end, guys, if the goal was, hey, we're going to rebuild and by year 6 or 7 make the playoffs, that's fine. If you told me the day Yzerman was hired that it would be year 6, we'd be dead last in the East at the quarter pole as we approach Thanksgiving, and frankly, having the number 1 pick in the draft looks more certain than making the playoffs, and that I wouldn't be able to talk about the words Stanley and Cup in the same sentence by year 7, I would have said there's no way. It had to be a failure. Did he get hit by a bus? What happened? So I want to hear from the people. You tell me. It's your team. You protect this guy, this organization, as the Canadians like to say. You protect the sweater, as the Canadians like to say. Go ahead. Go ahead, just please. I need you. Help me help you as the Wings lose another embarrassing game. And you needed a power play goal late and deep into the third period at like the 17:48 mark to even get to overtime. So here's what I need from you. Tell me where you're at. You don't care where I'm at. Mm-hmm. You don't even like my opinion about your hockey team. And hell, there are some people in this town, they're offended on surface. See, I think that what is more honest, Rico, as we sit here today, and I learned that at one point you were a nude car model. More on that later. I want to know what is more honest. Identifying criticism.
Or what you just said.
No. Identifying criticism or making excuses for failure. Like criticizing the failure or making excuses for the failure. What's more honest?
Criticizing the failure.
Okay, so then why are we vilified? Why do I have to listen to endless excuses?
Okay, rhetorical question, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
You know why you're being vilified and why people are vilified. If Steve Yzerman's name was Steven Johnson, Steven Smith,
okay,
you wouldn't get this amount of backlash. But when people see Steve Yzerman, they still remember the glory days, the captain, him holding the cup, him skating around the Joe, and they can't separate the two.
Grow up.
So you're allowing him to make more and more mistakes. You're giving him another gear. Just wait because you're wrapped up in nostalgia.
You wait because this is like waiting at a bar. And you've already waited in line for 45 minutes and you go, well, I can't leave now. No, it's a sunk cost.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I don't care. I'm not saying the F word. I'm saying, tell me how to feel in year 6 of this.
Yeah.
And the team blows. Yeah. They're not fun to watch. They don't create shots. The shots they do create don't go in. They're not good, metrically speaking. Even a dunce cap like me looks and sees 30th, 32nd, 28th, 30th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 29th. They do nothing well. Mm-hmm. So tell me how to feel.
Still playing roulette with the goalies. Lost 5 out of 6 games.
Tell me.
I know it upset Kenny.
Kenny, what do you have to say?
Excellent introduction, Mike. I appreciate that.
Paul Sarah liked it. Oh, by the way, David's on jury duty today.
Congratulations, David. He is actually very excited about that. But to me, you can't beat the Ducks. You can't beat the Sharks. You had never had a shot against the Kings. I put this all in the show sheet. Guys, this road trip, I was like, you need to get 2 out of 3 of these games. The Ducks stink. The Sharks stink. And if one of them's a stinker, I can live with one of those games being a stinker. They were all stinkers. They put up, I think they were outshot by the Kings 41 to 15. There was a period that they only had 1 shot. And the thing last night, the thing this team does well, to answer your question of what does this team do well, it's supposed to be the power play. The power play ranks pretty decently in the NHL. They couldn't score when they needed to. Everything about last night bothered me because it was a microcosm of everything wrong with this team, whether it was the defense, whether it was the forward group. You have one good forward line. The Tarasenko signing has been a disaster. This whole thing has been a disaster.
Oh, but Stevie doesn't want to hand out term, can he?
Well, that's the thing, too, is you talk to people online, you talk to crumb bums, ticket texters, callers, whoever you want to talk to, they're all going to say the same thing. They're all going to be, oh, well, what are you pressing the panic button for so quickly? Why are you so upset? Why? Because it's year 6. When are we allowed to have expectations? You tell me when I'm allowed to be upset.
That's why I did the topic the way I did. I'm not saying anything. You can't blame me. I've said nothing. You tell me how to feel. Here, when it comes to hockey, I'm an ignoramus. Go ahead. Tell me how to feel. Educate me. Because all I know is there's no rebuild in sports that in year 6 you can be in last place and prime your pump over it. Mm-hmm. I don't hear it. And don't do the whataboutism. I'm not expecting a Stanley Cup this year. I didn't expect one last year. Making the playoffs in hockey is the equivalent of relieving yourself and not hitting the bowl. It's not hard. You're an adult.
We saw a team like L.A. fall ass backwards, fail, and then start again. They're in second place in the West, I think, right now, or at least in their division.
And they got the helmets you hate.
Those doorknob helmets, don't even get me started. Those shiny chrome. You know what? Get myself in trouble.
248-539-9797. So tell us, as the Red Wings sit right now, they're bottom of the East. As the Red Wings sit right now, metrically, they are, by definition, a terrible hockey team. So go ahead. Kenny and I hated the summer. You hated us. Here we sit. We didn't love last summer. You hated us. Character impugned. Okay. Tell me again what we're doing here. Because my message to Rico or anyone who would listen is, if it takes 6-7 years to make the playoffs, I could have hired anybody off the street. And if it's going to take 8 or 9 to be even in the contention, the discussion for a Stanley Cup, not that you would get it done, but you would be competing for it. Once again, I could hire one of my dogs. He doesn't even have opposable thumbs. And I'm pretty sure doesn't speak English. You get to a point, you hired Yzerplan because he's special. Be special. This is not special. It's special in all the wrong ways, Rico. This is terrible.
No, it is, because you're getting closer and closer to Holland's prophecy being true, saying, guys, it's going to take 10 years. And you're like, no, it's not. Well, it's starting to look that way. You see Yzerplan as a hero. And then you also say, well, he's the guy that he helped in building the Lightning, and he's going to come here and do that in Detroit. And no.
Here's the one thing I'm starting to get annoyed by, is if I have to read another piece, and whether it's the Hockey News, whether it's Red Wings specific coverage, if I got to hear about, but wait, just wait, we have some incredible talent coming in the next 2 to 3 years. Nope.
You know what they need to do with that talent?
Or both.
They need to weaponize that. They can use that to trade for players.
Oh, you're so stupid. He'd have to spend a lot of money in term.
It doesn't matter. I'm tired of it.
It feels
At
like we've
what
had
point-
this conversation.
Well,
before.
exactly. At what point do we have to have expectations here? Why am I
Just-
still waiting?
Just wait for the kids.
It feels like we had this conversation before a few months ago. Different organization.
My whole point is if I have to wait another 2-3 years for the kids to be here, you're at year 10, no accountability, no expectation, and what? You're going to allow poor little Lalone to run cover for you? He's going to be your meat shield?
That's basically
It's going to
it.
be like a movie? You're going to hold him in front of your body as the hostage? Is that what we're doing? Help me. Help me help you. I'm not a smart man. Here, I don't know the front from the back of a hockey puck. I don't know nothing. What's a Zamboni 248? Here, tell me how to feel about the Yzerplan. As just somebody who hates failure, and all I see with this team is failure. And by the way, guys, it's one thing to be bad. It's another to be boring. You are, in fact, the latter. I dare a hockey snob to call me up and telling me they're all bricked up watching the Wings. They're an awful product. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong there, too. I don't care. I'm here till 6. 248-539-9797.
I thought it was going to be an interesting game. They had the lead, and then they lost it.
You telling me you can't win with 9 total shots the last 2 periods? You telling me you can't win when you're one of the worst teams 5-on-5 in shot creation in hockey? I know, I'm an ignorant slut. Those are just numbers I read, right?
Every time I yell, King tells me, stop yelling, shoot the puck. So,
In fact, shoot the puck guy may be the smartest guy of all in this conversation as it pertains to this team. 248-539-9797. Here's car model Rico.
all right.